What's everyone? It's Matt Mrozik, and this is the latest piece off the bench. This is Pyro, produced by Wolfpacks. I don't know who the sculptor is. I've reached out to a few people who the sculptor is, but I don't know. So I can't give credit to the sculptor, but I'll find out eventually, and I'll put it on the description of this video. But I want to do a quick video before I take photos and show you kind of this piece. This turned out really freaking awesome. Actually, I have another one coming in for another client. Then we're going to do a slightly different color scheme, but this is Pyro, obviously. And for colors, my client gave me, oh my gosh, Octavio's paint up that he did, which was fantastic. So I just kind of used his paint up as a go-by and did my own kind of thing based on that. So looks really sharp. We did the two-tone yellow, so we got the darker yellow for the yellow mask. We had the darker yellow on the arms, the chest, and then the rest of the yellows of lighter lemon yellow. The yellows turned out fantastic on this. Probably some of the best yellows I've done. Yellows, like I said, like on the Bishop video, yellow is probably the hardest color to do in my opinion. It's just really, really hard to get a consistent tone with yellows, and they turned out really nice. You can see he's got a switch out head / shoulders. This is the way my client's gonna have them displayed with the yellow. And I'll go over a couple modifications I did just based on some other what Vince Vell Customs did for a paint up he did. Basically all he did is he drilled holes in the bust base so you can display the extra flames, which is a really clever thing to do, because what do you do with those when you're not displaying them? So now he's got a place to put the extra flames when he's not displaying them, along with the extra bust. So if I zoom out, you'll see that he's got this really cool kind of flame effect that goes around him, which I think I just dig it. It's really slick. Let me bring my exposure down just a little bit. But really, really nicely done. Great sculpt, great kit. I think this is if I had to guess it, this would be a an ownage kit. Everything fit perfectly. No prep. I didn't have to do anything. There are a few little areas I sanded out that had just some surface imperfections in the primer, but other than that, there's no prep. So it's all just paint work, which took a while. I got exactly 40 hours into this piece, and that's mostly because of the masking again. And it's masking this guy over here. That took, just that collar took me a full day to mask and paint. So that was just tedious work, a lot of masking. The rest of the masking was relatively straightforward. I didn't realize it, but after I got done painting all the skin tones and everything, I didn't realize it, but the faces actually come out of the masks. I'm like, holy shit, that'd have been nice to know when I was painting them. But so I didn't have to mask the faces off. I just had to mask the eyes and the ears for that. But I did pop out the faces when I was doing the mask, so that made that a little bit easier. We're gonna come in tighter and just come in close, because I'm really proud of just the colors, the skin tones. Everything's really sharp, and it's hard to tell in these crappy work lights, but I'm really happy with everything. So I haven't put the lenses in yet because my client wants them in, but I do want to take some photos with them out because I really liked how the eyes turned out. But I'm afraid if I pop them in that they're not going to want to come out because of all the paint buildup. And my client does plan on displaying with the lenses in, so I've left them out for this video. But they're down here on the base. You can see I got 2 clear yellows and 2 clear reds. So the reds go in the yellow mask and the yellows go in the red mask. So I'm not going to put them in for this video just because, again, I'm afraid if I put them in, I will not be able to get them out. So starting up here, come in. This video is not doing my paint justice, but you get the idea. Skin tones look really, really good. I'm super happy with them. Very, very nice. The mouth looks great. If we turn him around, he's got this cool, I guess, fuel pack for his flames. Again, using Octavio's paint up, I just kind of used his color placement for this paint up, and it looks really good. So for the metallics, this is Mr. Color GX Metallic Red. This is Mr. Color GX Metallic Blood Red. For these little exhausts, I just did some steel and did a heat effect around the edges. The gold is Mr. Color number 9 gold. Borrowed the piping and stuff with some panel lines. I didn't do any shading in the red. Just the metallic alone kind of emulates that, so I didn't feel the need to go in there and do that. All the shading's in the yellow, which took a lot of time. I actually wrote down notes for this one because I like the yellow so much. I actually took notes of what I did. I typically don't take notes of what I do, But I took notes on this one. So like the light yellow is 1, 2, 3. It's a 6-step process. So I start off with a base coat of white, and then I go in and I had a custom shadow color that I mixed up, hit all the shadows, and then I mixed it on a Tamiya X8 flat yellow, and then I added white to that for another lighter color and hit the highlights a little bit and then misted that on, and then blended it perfectly. For the dark yellow, it's a little simpler. It's a base coat of white. Then I have a custom shadow like mustard color because we want kind of like a mustard yellow for that. So it's a mixture of, what do I have? It's Tamiya, well, I got the colors here. If someone wants to know somewhere. Anyway, it's like a little bit of, it's like a little bit of, I think like a desert tan and a little bit of green or brown and green for the shadow. So when you first put it in, it's really contrasty and punchy. And then I just blend it in with Tamiya X8 yellow, and we got this really nice mustard yellow. A mistake I made, and apparently most painters have made, is that this part of the chest is supposed to match the mask, even though, I'll show you here when I do the switch out, it's not sculpted that way. So I think what could have been better on the sculpt, just for a painter's perspective, what is if they would have sculpted this part a little bit differently, just to make it obvious that that's supposed to go, those are supposed to match. On the other shoulder, it doesn't matter because that whole shoulder is a switch out. We'll show you that in here in a second. So there's that part. So now to switch these out, for this one, you got to take this part off first. And it does scuff paint a little bit, but you don't see it once it's all together. So that's going to come off just carefully. And it just leaves a little scuff mark. Because here, I masked this off this morning and masked the yellow. Then the head comes off. And if I come in tight here, maybe we can get a better view of the head. But there's a close-up of the face. Really happy with that. So we're gonna put lenses in. So you'll see the eyes a little bit through the lenses, but not too much. And then the way this works down here is I've got this whole part comes off. And it's a strong magnet. It's on there good. So I just gotta lift up carefully. So that whole thing comes off. I'm actually gonna pack it this way because technically it's supposed to come apart, but the magnet in the neck is so strong that I chipped paint a little bit, and I was taking it apart earlier, and I don't want to risk chipping paint again. So it's just in there. I touched it up, and this part's magnetized, and it's on there really good. So I'm just gonna pack this whole thing in the box like that, even though it didn't come that way. So this whole part comes off. And then plugs in there, just like that. And now we got the red version. And then if you want to switch out the flames, these just pop out. These were tricky. I painted these late last night. I was gonna wait till today, but I wanted to do a 2K clear on them. So I did them late last night. Sorry, I got a mess on, make sure it wasn't. And then you can take the extra flames, and these only fit on one side. This guy goes there, and this guy goes here. So the thing about the flames that was tricky is that it's a yellow resin, which looks great, which is a great base for flames. But the factory put like a clear coat on it, and the clear coat was flaking off from the factory. So you have to strip these and get all that clear coat off, because if you paint them, then your paint's gonna flake later. So that was actually the hardest part, was stripping them and getting all that flakiness off. But for the flames, all I used was Tamiya clear red, working on the tips and then highlighting all the highlights. So people always paint flames backwards, and I used to do it backwards for years until I actually looked at flames. But the tips should be darker and the inner core should be brighter. So the inner core is like yellow orange and the tips are dark red. That's what a flame's supposed to look like. And then I went back, I did the same thing on the big arch flame, added a little clear black to that red and just hit the very tips of the flame. So now I got these nice orange flames, which I think look really great. So if I spin this around, hopefully it doesn't hit the back of the bench there. You get that effect. So you can display them this way, and then you can have the extra head on the base down here. You have to put the head in first and then put the collar on for the yellow mask because the shoulder pads overlap the neckline just a little bit. And then there's your alternate display option. Now obviously there's no place to put the arch, but that's okay. But there you go, just a quick video on this piece. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna take photos now and I'll put a slideshow at the end of this video where you'll be able to see them with the lenses in as well as the lenses out. But there you go. Again, this one was relatively quick, 40 hours. I got them done in 5 days, so pretty quick piece for me. But love the results, it looks great. Like I said, I have another one coming in eventually. And this client wants to do the light yellow with the orange arms and chest and neck area. So that'll be fun. This would be a different take on it. But there you go. Pyro, produced by Wolfpacks. I don't know who the sculptor is, unfortunately, but there you go. Thanks for looking. Bye.